The question I get most frequently about Google Classroom is, how do I organize it? I'm starting to think that when people ask how to organize their Google Classroom, what they're really asking is about, how do I assign things to my students efficiently? There are a lot of different ways you can organize a Google Classroom, and I think a lot of that is going to be learned through trial and error and what works best for your organization as well as for your students. So that is going to be more of a process and something that we can certainly work on together through feedback. But for the purpose of this, I'm really going to focus on how to assign things efficiently for students so there is a workflow for them and they can clearly understand what to turn in and get to you so that you can grade it. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to go over to classwork and I'm going to show you 3 different scenarios of how you can assign things to students in a workflow. I'm going to start with the worst and work my way up to the best. So this first example I'm going to show you, it's doable, but I wouldn't recommend it, and you'll see why. So I'm going to create an assignment. I'm going to create a series of things for kids to do based on reading an article, finding some similar articles, and then responding to it and citing the evidence. So I found an esports article that I would like them to read from Scholastic. The title of the article is Esports Excitement. Read article about esports. I can give it a point value. I'm going to make it due on Tuesday. And I'm going to assign it right away. So I want them to read that esports excitement article first. Then I want them to find a similar article. And again, you can create a form to collect it. You can create a Google Doc. For the sake of time, I have one up here. So they are going to find a similar esports article to the one that they read. And I want them to do that too. Oh, and I forgot to put a due date. Luckily, it's really easy to edit. I want to do Tuesday. And then I would also like them to find an opposing esports article. And I want that due on Tuesday too. Assign it. And then the final thing I want them to do is to write their own paper on esports. So I got it started for them. And I'll give them Wednesday to do this. And again, what's really nice, so they're each going to do their own paper. I want to make a copy for each student so that they individually get it. And I'm going to assign that right away too. But the due date is on there so they know they have until Wednesday to get that done. So that's the first way you can make a series of linked assignments to students. But as you see, they're in no particular order. Your esports excitement article that you want them to start with is down at the bottom. This is just like any other social media feed where what goes in first ends up at the bottom of your feed, and we work our way up to the esports position paper. So everything you want the kids to work on is there. There's just no workflow established for the students as to what they do first, next, and finally last. So this can be easily remedied by creating a topic. And that edit button that comes in so handy. To get it under the topic, you go to topic and edit after you create it. Now, obviously, if you're thinking ahead, you would want to have your topic established before you start creating your assignments. That way, as you're creating them, that's just another box that you're checking off instead of going back and redoing it. But at least the edit button is there for you if you do forget to do something. All right, so all 4 of them are there. And they're actually in order, which is great. So they're going to start with this up top. They're going to find a similar article. They're going to find an opposing article, and then they're going to write their paper. If for some reason they didn't get put in order when you put them in a topic, you can drag and drop things within a topic. So if I wanted them to do that last, it would go last. But obviously I want them to do it first. So when things are linked together within a topic, you are able to drag and drop them and rearrange them. Now, this is a good way to create assignments and create a workflow for kids. You can create a topic just the way I showed you, where they're linked together through an assignment based on a similar topic, or you can do week 1. Something as simple as that. These are the things that you need to do during week 1 of school, or you can give it a date range. And you can order things based on how you want kids to work through things through the week. So you can also do your topics that way. You can do them by an actual topic like esports, or you can do them by the dates or the week of school. Now, the best way to create a workflow for kids and make it simple for them is to put all 4 of these assignments and put them in one document. So over here, those same 4 tasks that I want them to complete are all included in one single document. So there's that esports excitement document from Scholastic that they can get to by clicking on that link. And just so we remember to put things in there, insert links, go to that insert button. I have the form down here for them to include a similar article. An opposing article is linked. And then they could actually just write their paper, write their viewpoints underneath, and then turn it into you. So that is in my drive. I just created it recently, so it's going to be right up here at the top. I want everything due on Wednesday, and I'm going to assign it immediately to kids. And that's assigning things efficiently in a classroom to create workflow for your students.